want to do that. His family doesn't want him to do that, but we'll see what the Ravens decide to do. Friday night, it was family night at TIAA Bank Field.
My family was there.
Yeah, Lauren's family was up in the stands.
The Rue family
Blythe, you were up in the stands.
Yes.
Lauren and I were on the sidelines. So I want to get the perspective from the stands because as media, we go to practices a lot. So it's not really, I wouldn't say exciting for us. It's fun. I love going to practice, but it's not necessarily something different. We get to see this stuff almost every day. So I want to know for you, were you jacked up? Were you watching everything, or was it totally social?
It was definitely more heavy-handed on the social side. I think with a lot of the preseason games too, it's like that for our group. I like to call them my football family. It's a lot of the same people that I see throughout the entire season. I don't see them too much in the off season, but we had our core group there, family and friends together. Got a chance to take my boyfriend to the game or to the scrimmage, which was like a low-cost event for us, which was great. So to see his excitement, watching the team, and sort of learning the ins and outs of the fan culture, that was really cool. Loved they have a new bar in the south end zone for tequila and bourbon only, and that was the first place that we hit up. So that was a lot of fun. And then the ease of getting into the game. I was a big critic of the Jaguars making the decision to move to mobile tickets, and because I'm a big memorabilia person. I keep all my ticket stubs. I've kept them for more than a decade, and I did not want to lose that. But I have to say it was really easy getting into the stadium. And it was easier to send the tickets to friends. Even though it was a free event, to be able to take a screenshot of the ticket that you had to claim on your account and send it to a friend was awesome.
Well, that's good that, if they're going to make this change, at least they're working towards making it more of a simplified process. So I had a friend, I know, Donna, this is not your favorite thing, but I had a friend bring her toddler not baby, but toddler to 15-month-old to the game.
Oh, yikes.
That's a baby.
That is the worst
thing
ever.
No, that if you are still going by months, it's a baby.
That's right. No,
well, and
right.
I say 15 months, they don't. They say 1.3, which I think is fantastic because that's like the easiest way to ever keep track of what year 3-month-old. But I will say they would not bring this child to a normal game. They brought her because they knew it was family night, and they said it was an absolute blast. There was tons of stuff to do for the kids, and so they weren't just sitting in the seats the whole time. And so that's why I prefaced it with, I know it's not your favorite thing, but it worked for them. And so I wanted to ask you, Lauren, how did your kids enjoy it?
They loved it. My kids are 9 and 6, a boy and a girl. Usually my daughter, who at some point you will all meet, who is every bit of the fireball that I try to explain to people, that until you meet her in person, then you go, oh yeah, I get it now. But she usually is anti, what are you dragging me to now? Whether it's her brother's hockey games or her brother's baseball games or mom's working a football game or whatever it is. But for them, because of the ease of parking, right? That it was easy to park. It didn't cost anything. So every time you take your kids somewhere and it's miserable, you think, oh my God, we spent fill in the blank amount of dollars. For this, they registered in time. They used the mobile tickets. They got right in. They sweet talked their way into cotton candy and whatever crap they could come up with. But they had a great time. They really did. And for them, it's cool to see mom work. Because when they think mom just, you ask, what does your mom do for a living? She talks on the radio about sports. I mean, that's what they say, right? Or that's what she says. So to be able to go, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is when I tell you I have to go to work. This is part of it. So they had a great time. The weather held off, and that was amazing because Florida has been quite the damp area the past, 6 months, it feels like, I'm sure, for you guys. But the cloud coverage kicked in. It was nice. It was a beautiful night at the football stadium. And again, something they won't probably appreciate until they're much older is the fact that they have the opportunity to go to stuff like this. I mean, this was the first professional football arena I had stepped foot in. And in a game scenario. So I've been to NBA games, I've been to Major League Baseball games, but being from Oklahoma, unless you drove to Dallas, that's not true. I guess I went to Dallas when I was pregnant with my first kid, but I was pregnant, so your brain turns into mush. But
well, and that was not what
it wasn't Jerry's World.
Now.
That's right. No, that's right. That was a long time ago. So, but they had a great time, and it was a fun family event for everybody, which is a big star in my book.
Yeah, I think they did a great job, and it wasn't like exactly like the practices that I've been going to, Lauren, you've been going to. They definitely tried to make it about the fans, and they did have some more splash plays in there, and so that part was really fun, especially to finish it off with that touchdown catch from Bortles to D.D. Westbrook. I thought that was just a perfect moment to end on. When it comes to Thursday night, I am excited about the game because it means that we're actually going to get to evaluate real football, like real tackling and things like that, especially this new helmet rule. But I understand if fans go, it's the preseason, I don't really care. I do understand that part of it. Although, right now in Jacksonville, there is so much excitement about this football team. I think anything is, I've seen Twitter, just the simplest thing a media person will tweet out, and tons more people this year than last year are liking that tweet or retweeting that tweet or commenting. So I think the excitement is there. I think the Jaguars and the Saints could absolutely be a Super Bowl game that we will see in 2019. But moreover, what are you looking for Thursday night?
I'm looking forward to getting back to the normal, like with the scrimmage, you're not tailgating beforehand, you're not meeting at your usual spot. I think a lot of football fans have their usual spot where they park, and the normal game day traditions. That's what I'm looking forward to getting back into. It's not going to be a full-fledged affair where we're doing like steak and lobster for a preseason game. Probably get just like Subway sandwiches.
Do you do steak and lobster for regular season
for
games?
The first home game, regular season game, we do steak and lobster.
That's amazing.
So it's always that, or a playoff game,
sure.
Which we actually got to experience that last year. So that was a lot of fun. But this preseason game, it's definitely more about getting back into like the normal groove of things. Because with players, it's like they're trying to get back in the normal groove of things too. So if for fans, I think it's getting back into the normal hustle and bustle of the football season and how it fits into your everyday life.
D-Murph?
I am looking forward to see which wide receiver sticks out. That's what I know. We're not going to see much, but because we have such a depth there, I want to see which one does catch my eye, which one is going to be what I think the main target of the season.
Well, it's funny, through a lot of the practices, a guy who is not projected to make the football team, and Shane Wynn, who's been on this team off and on for a while, but he has made so many great plays at practice. So I think you might see some splashes out of him Thursday night, but don't necessarily expect that, to translate to the 53-man roster. But I think, honestly, because we know this team so well, it's going to be fun for me to watch the Saints and learn about their team. I don't expect Drew Brees to get a lot of time, but they do have a quarterback competition for the second spot. I guess you could say the Jaguars do, although right now no one really thinks that Cody Kessler is going to be able to lose his job because he has the experience. Tanner Lee doesn't. But you've got, in the Saints, you've got Tom Savage. Obviously, Jaguars fans are familiar with him because he played for the Texans last year. And then you've got Taysom Hill playing for the Saints now. Last year, he was on the team as a special teams player. So I think their quarterback battle will almost be more fun to watch than the Jaguars quarterback battle. But certainly, there's a lot of guys that are fighting for those second and third spots on the team. And if you are going to watch the game closely, that's what you're going to be able to see. All right, Lauren, so you are not from Jacksonville, Florida.
That's right.
Blythe and I. You have not lived in Jacksonville, Florida for the past umpteen years and
just
been around
10 days.
Excel like Donna. So you have a very different perspective.
Yes.
Before you got here, what did you think of the Jaguars?
Can I just be frank?
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is not what I thought of them. What you would hear, again, in Oklahoma, where the closest NFL markets are Dallas and Kansas City, and Dallas is the bleep show with all things Jerry Jones, and Kansas City at times shows potential like halfway through the season, and then something happens and they fall apart. So a lot of the talk about the Jags, as cliche as this sounds, and I hate to even go uniform talk because we're all more advanced than that, but people are like, what the hell's the matter with their logo? What is going on with that faded helmet? And so people would poke fun with that, in reality realizing this is a legitimate team until last season when they won, or they nearly won the AFC Championship game to make it to the Super Bowl. So Blake Bortles is so interesting in the sense that he's not your prototypical quarterback, in the sense that in the NFL the team is not built around him. It's just not. The team is built around this defense. It has so many stars on the defensive side. It's so unique to be able to go, well, I mean, I guess they're going to be good because look at their defense, and you got to hope that Blake has kind of found his rhythm and found his groove, and last year was going to be a point in his career where all it goes is up from here. I mean, that's what you got to hope for, right? So to sit here and say that the people of Oklahoma talk much about the Jaguars, they don't. However, if you do recall, there is some Oklahoma history with this Jacksonville Jaguar team, with Justin Blackmon, who left a hole in many people's hearts, including mine. D.D. Westbrook, Tyler Patman's not one we talk about enough on the other side of the football, who has a chance to make this football team and maybe do some things there. But D.D. Westbrook, we talked about wide receiver core, and then being, how do I say this correctly? There's not one guy who's just leaps and bounds above. It's really kind
There's no true number one.
right. Who's going to stand out?
Right.
Who's going to be that guy? And D.D. Westbrook, the people of Oklahoma, who are unfortunately for me as an Oklahoma State grad, are primarily OU fans, are really waiting on bated breath to see what D.D. Westbrook does and see in his second year if he really gets involved, because this whole once a Sooner, always a Sooner thing, that fan base will follow their guys, including tonight is, of course, Baker Mayfield out in Cleveland for Hard Knocks. So the point being, the talk about the Jaguars is relevant back there when it involves former OSU or Oklahoma State or Oklahoma players. So.
Yeah, and it does make sense.
Yeah, but listen, I will just say this. I haven't had the opportunity to say this yet, and I mean this. There's no BS with me. Maybe just a little bit, very little. Jacksonville is beautiful. I mean, you guys have, and you're from here, so maybe you take it for granted or maybe you understand it, but it's beautiful. It is the proximity to the beach, and I guess if you're a river person with the St. Johns River, you can go that route. But when I moved here, when we were moving here, people were like, here's the counties for schools, and here's the different things. You can either be close to the river or close, essentially, to the Atlantic coast. And I said, listen, I'm not moving 1,000 miles away to be next to a river. I'm just going to be real honest. Where I'm from, there are plenty of rivers. So I said, we're going to go Atlantic coast side. But everybody is so kind. The weather is beautiful. The scenery is beautiful. And it sometimes takes an outsider for people who are from here to go, oh, yeah. Because when it's your hometown, right, it becomes the norm.
Yeah, I never took appreciation for Jacksonville until I moved away in my early 20s and then came back and realized how much
I'm telling you, I'm a fan. Like, I hate cold weather, I hate dirty cities, and this is the opposite of both. So you're number one in my book, Jacksonville, so far.
Well, and I'm the opposite. I knew I loved being from here because I grew up a few blocks from the beach, and I loved it, and I went away to school, and I missed it every single day, and I couldn't wait to get back. And as soon as I moved back, I said, I am never leaving. I don't care. And especially getting into sports, people are like, oh, what if ESPN calls? Would you move to Connecticut?
Heck no.
I am living here, and I absolutely love it. All right, speaking of Jacksonville, we are going to chat with Leanne Rassler from the Jacksonville Transportation Authority. Coming up next, you're going to get some really good information on how to get to game day. Of course, the first one comes up on Thursday as the Jaguars play host to the Saints at TIAA Bank Field with kickoff at 7 o'clock. That's next. Listen to Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Fenders Homes on 1010XL.
1010XL says thank you.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, my computer went dead for 2 seconds. Okay.
You got it?
Got it. Dream Fenders Homes grand opening in Shearwater is giving you a chance to win grand prizes. Lauren Brooks here. Register to win your choice of prizes like a 50-inch smart TV or 2 club seats to the Jaguars Patriots game. Realtors and Dream Finders fans alike, all you have to do is visit their grand opening of the Willow Model in the Shearwater community. Prize registration now only through August 31st. Visit Shearwater today for your chance to win prizes at Dream Fenders Homes Willow Model.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Sorry, just
Sorry, and I
went
made us
black
go
for a
over on the
second.
break.
Oh, you're
Like,
good.
Rattle, rattle, rattle.
It's okay.
I totally forgot you were here, Lauren.
Oh,
You're good.
Which
Yeah,
this Lauren?
how are we going to figure
Thanks,
this out?
AJ.
I remember now.
Rue.
Rue?
It's because
Okay.
I can't see it.
You can't see.
No, and that's why I just
right
went ahead and told you versus like
I
getting up.
dubbed her Rue last week, so.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. We decided we're going to start a country band called Brooks and Rue.
That's
that sounds-
fantastic.
I like the Brooks
Brooks
and
and
Dunn.
Rue.
I can't remember into the PC, but
I can't see. Can I move this up a little? Like, it's blocking Lauren's face. And
Oh, and my face is
well,
so
my
pretty.
fat belly can't get any closer, so
is that good? Right? Because then it's
this is
it's
how I
like
will
blocking
be.
her whole face right there.
That's fine. I'm just letting you know. My
Poor
fat
fat
belly can't get any
It's not fat.
It isn't
shoot.
fat.
It's a fat belly.
No,
It's a big
baby
belly because there's a baby, but it's not
Well,
fat.
I know.
It's not like you've been, eating too much.
When are you actually due?
Next month. So,
So anytime.
close.
But you said you think she's gonna come early.
yes.
That's wishful thinking.
Yes. Or it's me telling her, Early.
Get out.
Get out of here.
I have housed you long enough.
I'm here for the show. Jeremy might need me at my computer.
Okay. And like I told you, feel free to leave whenever, even if it's in the middle of a segment. And
I know,
feel good.
thanks.
I saw you making some faces, so I feel bad.
Does new Lauren have her stuff yet?
No, yes.
Alex from
stuff-
the UK?
I'm glad Alex is concerned. My stuff is still
you're
in-
fine.
It's still in Oklahoma. It never left.
Her furniture. And
Oh,
Like
wow.
the moving stuff. Like we brought stuff here. We drove over. We left before the moving trucks got there because I needed to be here and all the things. And it's still there.
That's so ridiculous.
How do you
Yeah, you feel
Someone's
helpless.
ass is gonna be fired.
just
Yeah, and you just go.
raise hell?
Yeah, it is. But you're almost like helpless because it's like, what am I supposed to do? They
Yeah.
have the stuff. If you don't have the person to drive it, I'm here. It's there. So Wednesday, tomorrow morning is when corporate finally got involved. I got
Holy hell.
yeah, they needed to.
And she's supposed to call me tomorrow to say, hey, a trucker has. See, I didn't know how this works. I don't know if you know anything about moving because I didn't know anything about it.
yeah.
How the trucking
Just making
like
sure.
world works with like big.
Well, I
moving
do work in
companies.
trucking,
Oh,
but
do
I
you?
build
Logistics
websites.
stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, like, so Allied's a big name.
Okay, yeah,
They have local offices in
Hey,
everywhere.
Lauren.
Yeah.
What show is Prospect?
Wait,
But they're kind of
Lauren,
like
that's
Sudden.
Lauren.
They're kind of like Sudden, where they do the personal moves, not just
Well, but
business
they
freight.
have they have their local offices, so that when I call and say, hey, I'm moving from Tulsa to Ponte Vedra, they say, okay, we're going to send one of our agents out. Well, there's local agents that come.
Right, right.
Okay, blah, 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 this is what it will cost. Our logistics person, who's also local, will tell you what days are available to load and whatever. It was supposed to load a week ago Monday and be here either between the 2nd and the 7th. Well, we're now at the 7th and it's still not left us up. And they're like, oh, we don't know, and there's no drivers on both. And I'm just
Oh
like,
hell! They put the drivers on another. They put
Yeah.
the drivers on another call. That's what
yeah,
happens.
exactly. And so, I don't know. I try to play it cool, and
Oh, you got to raise hell with them.
I know. So, we're there. We're there to the point if she calls me tomorrow and goes, oh, sorry, that trucker, I'm going to be like, not acceptable anymore. Like, give me the manager, give me, the good thing is nobody's been charged yet for this move.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they haven't charged us yet for the move, so, and they will pay for the hotel room moving forward, starting tonight, and half of our food as well.
okay.
So they're doing
Nice.
that. It's just fucking,
15 seconds.
Yeah.
you know.
Thank you.
Because you can't, I mean,
Is she good?
you can't move into your house without anything.
No,
right?
I just went and bought a big ass couch.
Yeah.
Like the most expensive
Yeah,
couch I've
good
ever
right.
bought in my life.
Okay,
and
thanks.
I'm like, I guess we'll sit on that, but that's it.
Oh, that is frustrating. You're so far away.
I hate moving. I moved one time, six times in 1 year, and I haven't moved since.
Did you say you're calling her?
Yes.
Thank you. Welcome back to Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Finders Homes. Donna Murphy, Blythe, Brumleve, Lauren Brooks, and Lauren Rue. You said we should just say Brooks and Rue is the new country band.
It's our new country band.
Well,
So,
I like
there you
country,
go.
you don't. So
That's true.
That
Right.
band's not
Well,
going
I'll
to
be
go well.
like, I'll be like the hip hop version. You can be the you know, like when Nelly and
Florida Georgia Line.
or Tim McGraw hooked up
Yeah, yeah,
years
yeah.
ago. It's all in my head. Whatever that song was, that's what we'll be.
Yeah. Florida Georgia Line and Nelly did the cruise one.
That's
Well,
right.
They did cruise and then
That's
Nelly
right.
joined in, but yeah. All right, in just a moment we're going to talk to Leanne Rassler from JTA. That would be the Jacksonville Transportation
Can she
Authority.
help me get my stuff? She's in transportation.
She cannot help you
Blythe,
get your
who
stuff from
tweeted
Oklahoma.
You? Who wants to know about my stuff?
Alex from the UK wanted
Alex
to
from
know
the UK.
status
Alex
update.
from the UK. The answer is no. It is not here yet.
Not
Thank you
yet.
for asking.
But Leanne can help get people downtown without having to worry about parking or paying
That's
for
what's
parking.
happening.
So
Yep.
that is certainly going to be helpful. Leanne Rassler is joining us now. She is the Public Relations Manager for the External Affairs Division for JTA. Hello, Leanne. Thanks for joining us again this year.
Well, thanks for having me on tonight.
Absolutely. And we are so excited about football season, as I'm sure you guys are as well.
We are 48 hours to go. We are so excited.
Absolutely. So I know people are going to be asking lots of questions about the Game Day Express, so let's fill them in a little bit. Can you tell people about the Game Day Express and how they get involved?
Yeah, sure. Our Game Day Express is the stadium shuttle that gives you direct service to sporting events at TIAA Bank Field. and we are excited to kick off the season this coming Thursday when the Jaguars take on the Saints.
Awesome. Now, if people want to catch the shuttle, there are multiple locations, correct?
Correct. We have 5 conveniently located parking lots or park and rides throughout the city. During the preseason, one of those, which is at the beach, does not operate. So I want to make sure I let people know that. But downtown, we have 2 locations, one at Convention Center near the Prime Osborne, and the other at the Kings Avenue Garage on the South Bank. And then we have the 2 locations operating for preseason are going to be the Southside Park and Ride lot at JTB and Phillips Highway, and then our Armsdale Park and Ride lot on the north side, which is located at Lynn Turner and 295.
Well, speaking of operating, when do they start operating when it's game day?
They start operating 2 hours before kickoff, so that means this Thursday the shuttle service will start at 5 p.m. and it operates for 1 hour after the game ends. We also do offer continuous shuttle service during the game from the Convention Center lot only. So if there's folks that maybe they're going also to the Shrimp game and they want to utilize the Game Day Express, we encourage them to ride from Convention, because that way if they needed to leave before the game is over or they're going to the Shrimp game, then they can ride back on the Convention Center lot, which drops you off at the north end of the stadium.
Leanne Rassler from JTA is our guest here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Leanne, this is Lauren Rue. I'm new to the area, new to the show, new to 1010XL, and I know a lot of people in Jacksonville aren't necessarily from here. They move in from all across the country, so they may be the first time they've ever heard of this service. For somebody who's new to the game like I am, what is the cost and how do you buy tickets?
Okay. Well, cost, if you're going from the downtown location, it's only $8 for a single game shuttle pass, and that includes free parking. And then if you're coming from the north side, the south side, or the beaches during regular season, it's $13. However, during the preseason and at the first regular season game, we do encourage people that are planning on going to all the games to purchase the Game Day Season Pass, because you can get 9 games for the price of 7. And here's the best thing. This year, we have where you can purchase it through our MyJTA mobile app. So with the convenience of your mobile phone or any other mobile device, you can go ahead and purchase either the Season Pass, so you can go to every single one of these games, or a single game ticket with the convenience of your mobile phone. And then we have these great scanners on the buses that you just pull your phone up, pull up that QR code, and it'll scan it deep in, and it's that simple.
What do you think is the biggest advantage of taking the JTA shuttle versus another option?
Well, I personally ride it anytime I'm going to a football game, and what I love most about it is that it's so convenient. I park in the lot, get on the bus. I don't have to worry about the stress of, trying to find a parking space or paying $20-$30 to park, then being stuck in traffic. Most every game, I am already home before my sister and brother-in-law have gotten out of all that traffic downtown.
That's definitely an advantage, because that can take a long time.
Yeah, we take the stress away, and you can connect on the complimentary Wi-Fi on our JTA buses, and and then get on social and connect with your friends, and just kind of get that game day vibe going.
Absolutely, and relax the whole time. Leanne Rassler, Public Relations Manager for the External Affairs Division for the JTA. Leanne, I have some family members who may need wheelchairs in order to get into the stadium. Are the JTA shuttles equipped for that?
Yes, JTA buses are wheelchair accessible. We do encourage anybody that, individuals with disabilities to park at the Convention Center lot, because there we do also have the paratransit vans available.
Well, a great thing you mentioned is that it is free Wi-Fi, seeing how we're mobile tickets now. So we do need the phones for all the games. But can you also bring anything to drink, anything to eat on the bus?
Well, we do not allow coolers and picnics on the Game Day Express. We do know that, people do bring, food to the game, and so they just need to keep it in those NFL-approved clear bags and don't have any open containers of food or drink. We want to keep the vehicles clean and comfortable for all the fans.
Final one from me, Leanne. How quickly do these buses fill up?
We have basically, the buses are lined up. So as soon as one bus fills up, it takes off and the next bus pulls up and people get on it. The only time there is a little bit of a limited service is during the actual football game when we're running the continuous shuttle back and forth to Convention Center. We only have a couple of shuttles running just because not that many people are going back and forth. So other than that, we always have a bus pulling up as soon as one leaves.
And you mentioned that, just to reiterate, the beaches one is not available, but there are four other locations that are available: downtown, the South Bank, the South Side, and the North Side, right?
Correct. 4 locations during preseason, and then come the September 16th during regular season, all 5 will be operating, and they'll also be operating, for Georgia, Florida, and Taxslayer Gatorwolf.
All right, perfect. All right, so 630-3100 or visit jtafla.com. And those tickets, as you mentioned, Leanne, are available through the My JTA mobile app already. You guys are ready.
Correct. Yes, ma'am, we are ready. We
Awesome.
are ready for this football season, and so excited. Can't wait. Go Jags.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Leanne.
Thank you, and have a great night.
All right, thanks you as well. That is JTA's Leanne Rassler. And again, you can get either individual game shuttle tickets or season shuttle passes, whatever works for you. And avoiding that traffic is definitely key, because you will see tons of people who tailgate after the game because they may as well not get in their car.
Because you're not getting out of the parking lot anyway. Yeah.
So yeah, for that one designated driver of everybody, that person's just sitting there going, I can't wait till we get home. All right, when we come back, we're going to get it back to the Jaguars. So keep it right here on Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Vendors Homes on 1010XL.
Yeah, Jeremy has to log into our computer and fix it.
Gotcha.
We couldn't do much
You
today.
don't want Ashlyn in 2 segments, right?
Yeah, 2 segments. Yes. Well, 3 segments. 8:18.
Okay.
Pretty please. Oh yeah, so just mental note, if you book guests moving forward, 6 to 8.
6 to 8.
It's funny because you think that way, and then I had Stacey tell me about a guest. Yeah, it's great. And I was like, oh yeah, pick any time between 7 and 9, because this was a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And then this week I was like, oh, I got to remind her
6 to 8.
6 to 8. It's way better for everybody.
Yeah.
Because we actually have a lot of guests who
home.
are like, I can't really join you after 8 o'clock.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
like, I
that
totally
makes it tough,
understand.
that 8 to 9 hours.
Yeah.
It's going to be easier when, I could say when you guys are on location to get a player and
absolutely.
stuff like that, make it easier.
Yeah. The earlier time is it's great for Frank's people to leave early, us to get in and get out.
Are we doing a 1 month or one show a month at Dreamfinders?
I've seen some already, right, come across.
I feel like I've seen one, but maybe I just don't remember.
I think I've seen a few.
It was hard to keep track of all of Ridley's emails today.
Yeah, no, you're good. I send a lot of emails in a day.
No, I said Fridley's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
I thought you were talking about all the
Frangie
emails I send, which I send a
and
lot
Midday
too.
Chalk, man, they had a lot.
They have a lot. The only one I see that's upcoming is the September 25th one.
Yeah, I won't be there for that.
No, you will not.
Yeah,
But I don't see any. Yeah, that's the only one I have on my calendar, unless you have.
I thought I saw one in
something else.
October, but I could be wrong.
Okay, yeah.
I could be wrong.
As long as it says Dream Finders in the thing, because that's what I searched. But it's already on our calendar for 6 to 8, which is great.
I'll tell Steve tomorrow, but I'm not going to do the show in 2 weeks.
Okay.
The 21st.
Okay.
Just FYI.
No problem.
Induced labor.
Wouldn't that be nice? I have a doctor's appointment at 2:30, but it's right around the corner. And so it would be easier for me to work here 9 to 2.
Yeah.
And then go straight there, and my ass is not coming back after that.
No.
Which is why I only work till 12 on Tuesdays right now.
Yeah.
So I can go home and rest. Plus, TJ's still going to be out at sea. So.
No. It's funny, all these remotes that were sent,
Oh, wow.
I guess it was just to lock down the dates. I just looked at them. There's no location on them yet.
Yeah, Alex says 6 to 8 is a lot better for him because it's 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. instead of midnight to 2 a.m.
Alex has come to Jacksonville to not just see a Jags game, but also to like go around to different college campuses. Like I know he's been to UNF and UF.
Oh wow! What does he do?
I think he's in IT.
Okay.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he came in and watched our show one time. Brought us gifts from England.
Wow!
I still have my little keychain.
Which you got your first Stan gift.
That was so nice.
Stan.
And it's really unexpected. I was like, oh, okay.
Even if you tell him no, he's still going to bring it.
Is he like an old man?
He is older.
I mean, you got to
not older.
Like
Not old like my grandfather.
Women in their 30s.
He looks like Santa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. That's
And
kind of what
he is like Santa.
Brings you bourbon and food. It's awesome.
That's really nice. And not creepy, because I guess if it were creepy,
No,
you'd
he's
be
not.
like,
No,
"Ooh,
not creepy at all.
Right.
Like very like, hey, here's your stuff, and leaves.
That's really nice. Yeah.
You got Bold City next, Lauren, the next break.
All right, you got it. And this time you're going to believe me.
I'll play something before.
No, you're going to believe
You're going to believe
me.
what she's selling. Last week you were
Yeah, remember? You were like, that's not true. And I was like, it's absolutely true.
I told my friends.
I'm like, no, I know it's true. She told me.
Exactly. Wait, I just deleted it. No, I didn't mean to. There it is. You okay, Ryan?
Yeah. I really hope it's just her moving.
Yeah.
Head down.
Get moving in the right direction.
Please get that head down.
One way out.
$30 seconds.
Did you see the new remote sheet?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. I don't ever fill out a remote
No,
sheet.
you wouldn't. I just didn't know if anybody ever came to you to get it.
No, yeah. I saved it, but I was just like, oh, okay.
It makes a little more sense that it changed.
I like the new show photos. They look good.
I think he did a great job.
I took him.
Marcel.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Welcome back into Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes. My name is Blythe Brumleve, and I'm joined alongside two Laurens and a Donna. We're still working out.
Also another band name. Two Laurens and a Donna.
Yes. Earlier in the show, we talked a little bit about the Jaguars' upcoming preseason game on Thursday, where the Saints are coming to town to face off for the first preseason game of the season and potentially a Super Bowl matchup. The Saints finished last season with an 11-5 record, first in the NFC South, and won a wild card playoff game against the Panthers, but they also lost a divisional round matchup against the Vikings. And with the upcoming game, their starter's probably not going to play for maybe a series or two. So who are you looking forward to watching that's not a starter?
For me, it's probably going to be the linebacking core, just because I'm not 100% sure why they've decided. I mean, obviously the coaches know way better than I do, but going into the season, I thought that Blair Brown would be the strong side linebacker, and now not only is he not listed as a starter at the strong side linebacking position, he's not even listed under the strong side linebacking position at all. So it's great that a 7th round pick in Leon Jacobs has been able to, so far what we have seen, win the starting role. But what happened to Blair Brown, or why is he now being pushed over to back up Telvin Smith in that weak side position? So that'll be, and especially because the linebackers will actually be actively playing throughout the game. For me, it's a little too hard to watch the offensive line in a preseason game and know who's playing well.
Sure.
So yeah, for me it'll be the linebackers and trying to figure out what the coaches have seen that I haven't really been able to see.
What was it? Miles Jack said earlier I think on Jaguars Today about Leon Jacobs, that he was very bright and intelligent, and you can tell he goes home at night and studies, and physically he's a specimen. So maybe it's just a simple fact of him beating out Blair.
If you've never Googled Leon Jacobs and looked at what he looks like, yes, he is a physical specimen.
Like the Saquon Barkley's thighs specimen? Or?
I mean, not necessarily just the thighs, more just like his arms are just, I mean, the whole body, but from what I've seen him in the pictures at the combine, so he's in that tank, and he just looks like a freaking football player. Like, if you were to carve out a football player, we used to say it about Paul Posluszny, but Leon Jacobs, I would say, looks like one. And Miles Jack also said about him that Leon is mentally ahead of where Miles Jack was this time last year with that strong side position. So that is huge praise, and everybody also is, especially nationally, is all of a sudden saying Miles Jack is ready at that middle linebacker position. So now you're talking about, if Leon Jacobs is really good, you've got super fast athletic guys at the middle position in Miles Jack, and then the weak side or the will position in Telvin Smith, who I think is poised to have one of his best years yet. He has looked outstanding, and that's not a surprise. He's a veteran now. He knows he has to be a leader, but I'm looking forward to a lot of different just intricacies about Thursday night.
What about you, Donna?
I am looking at, not at one person, but at the tight ends. Because, yes, you can probably say that Jenkins is going to be the top tight end, but who knows? Because I know Shaughnessy is very good.
You say that because he came from the Patriots.
Yes, so I know he's good. But I'm excited to see what kind of battle goes on there, and who could possibly take over the top spot if it's not Jenkins, or who would be if they're gonna do a 2 tight ends,
Koyak.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, Safarian Jenkins has looked crazy good so far to me, but again, it's practice, so you can't really assess it the same way. Sure. And I'm not sure we can really assess the preseason that great either, because a year ago, and Lauren, you weren't here for this, but it was by far one of the worst preseason.
No, that's what I hear. I hear it was awful. They were ready for Blake Bortles.
Like, not just was training camp.
started game 3.
Yeah, not just the training camp, the bad practice that Blake Bortles had, but overall, I mean, the coaches kept the offensive line into the 4th quarter of the 3rd preseason game, which is unheard of, but that's because they didn't like what they saw. And so everyone was like, well, great. The offensive line isn't very good. Well, how is the rookie Leonard Fournette going to be any good? And how are they going to protect Blake Bortles, who, oh, by the way, also isn't playing very good football? And so it was a disaster, but we learned last year. We knew this all along, but every preseason you think you're going to learn about your team, and we learned last year.
No,
you can't learn anything in the preseason.
I'll tell you this. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. The preseason is for those guys who are still at camp, who are hoping a lot of the time to make that 53-man roster when this thing is all said and done. There's been some bumps and bruises this week in particular with the defensive line. Included in that was today Taven Bryan was out with an abdominal, which is a really hard word to say, by the way. Like abominable, like a snowman, but not.
You can say
abdominal.
Injury.
An injury to his abdomen is being reported. We don't know the severity of it, and hopefully not too much, but he's not expected to play in the preseason opener. However, it gives the opportunity for DeJuan Smoot, who was a 3rd-round pick, if I am remembering this correctly, a 2nd-year guy, to kind of make a break for him. I mean, this is your opportunity. If you're a guy who's on the fringe, and because of injury, you have the opportunity to go, look at me, I'm going to take every opportunity of every snap and every down I get to play. Here's the time, because you might be that guy who is just on the verge of like, do we need him, do we not? If you can show up in this first preseason game, and if you have the opportunity to play and the rest of the ones from here on out, you might find yourself on that 53-man roster. So I kind of keep an eye on him. We talked about him quite a bit today on Midday Chuck, where you can catch me, if I can do a shameless plug here, each day from noon to 3 with Rick Ballou and T-Wig. So make sure you tune in from noon to 3.
Yeah, they liked DeJuan Smoot a lot last year, and it's funny because Hayes and I would laugh in the press box because they would show DeJuan Smoot up on the video boards, like when they show lots of the big name players dancing and stuff in between plays, and it was always like, you've got Jalen Ramsey, Calais Campbell, Telvin Smith, and DeJuan Smoot.
And a guy named Smoot.
Yeah. Which, I mean, his name is fun to say.
He's a YouTuber as well.
Yes,
he is.
Yeah,
YouTuber. He held a camp a few weeks ago for like a coding camp at the Microsoft store at the Town Center.
And he's
kind of like a fan favorite.
I'm not putting him down.
Yeah,
I'm just saying he wasn't a starter on the defense, and therefore it was just funny that he got picked to be one of the guys up there. But yeah, I think he has a lot to prove this season, and so does a guy who we actually had on our show 2 or 3 years ago now in Michael Bennett, the former Ohio State player. If you'll remember, there was a picture taken.
I thought he was signed by another team, like signed off the practice squad or something last season. Dang. I didn't know he was back with us.
Yeah,
Maybe he never left.
There was a picture taken at that remote where we were, and there's like my face kind of looking at him like with a mean face.
Oh no, you got it.
Because he's Ohio State.
Resting, you know what face.
Yes.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Well,
you did it on purpose.
I was probably doing it more on purpose,
Okay,
just because,
He kept doing the Ohio State chant.
That's funny.
Lauren was not happy.
No, but it was fun for all the Buckeyes fans who were there, even though, they're really obnoxious people. No, I'm just kidding. It was fun for that group of people, and we've had different guys out, and then their former college or the college that they graduated from.
Especially Telvin with FSU.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
He brings a lot of guys out there. Well, we alluded to the depth chart earlier in the show, but with the unofficial depth chart being released, I think it was yesterday, were there any big surprises that you guys saw on the list?
For me, the fact that Dante Moncrief is listed as a third-team wide receiver was the biggest surprise. Yes, he's been injured, and I think that's the message that they're basically sending, but I think he could emerge as the number one wide receiver.
Sure.
There still may not be a number one wide receiver. We may be kind of forcing the issue, but I think with what I've seen, he's the most physical wide receiver on this team by far. The other guys, like DJ Chark looks the part, sure, but he needs to gain a little weight, which he probably will for next year. I mean, he's just a rookie. But D.D. Westbrook and Keelan Cole, you guys have seen them time and time again. They're not big physical guys. They're shifty, quick guys. And so Moncrief, I think, could emerge as this possession receiver that this team needs, but yet he's not listed as starting or even on the second team.
I don't even know that we need a number one wide receiver. I heard the point made earlier on Jaguars Today that maybe it's to our benefit that we don't have a number one wide receiver, and that it's just a case of let's just match up against matchup and find the weaker defensive guy.
Well, and certainly that's how offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett is going to spin it. Like, we don't need a true number one. Right. We're going to have Blake spread the ball around.
Yeah. It sure makes it interesting because it's kind of next man up if somebody goes down or if somebody's not playing their spot, rather than if the combination between Bortles and fill in the blank is not working, oh my God, what are we going to do? I do think it's interesting though, and I would be curious if you could kind of pull back the curtain on Blake and just ask him, look, would you feel more comfortable if you had your guy, whoever it happens to be, kind of your bread and butter, the 1-2 punch of like, hey, I know that I can always go to. I mean, for me, I saw it in Mason Rudolph and James Washington, who are both now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That combination was record-setting at Oklahoma State, and we always trying to figure out, did James Washington make Mason Rudolph look better or vice versa? But that was his guy. We knew if anything was to be true, is that James, would bail out Mason, and maybe reverse of that. So I wonder, as a quarterback, if you sit there and you would feel more comfortable, feel more confident if you knew at the end of the day you had the rhythm with that one person outside of everybody else, that if I'm in trouble, I know I can go to.
He's never really had that either. I mean, right. Allen Robinson was supposed to fit that bill.
For him, maybe it's just like,
hey, really, the guy who was that was the guy who's now in Dallas.
I think he was the reason for the worst chemistry.
Alan Hearns?
No, Robinson. Robinson and Bortles had zero chemistry.
Hearns developed into the most consistent receiver, but then
couldn't stay on the
teams
field.
Were able to pay him more than the Jaguars wanted to. Donna, does Tom Brady, did last year he have a number one wide receiver?
He never has.
I mean, Brandon Cooks,
everybody gets it.
Yeah, it wasn't that, and he's gone now too. Edelman.
Gronk's not considered a wide receiver, but
I guess maybe it is
would
more
say,
Gronk.
Yeah. It's more of a tight end.
That's what I hope Austin Seferian-Jenkins becomes, is Blake's guy, where if he's in trouble, he knows if he can throw it up, Seferian-Jenkins can go get it, battle the guys, and become that, especially that end zone threat that Mercedes really wasn't. I mean, yes, he had 3 touchdowns against the Ravens, but other than that, Mercedes was never really an end zone threat.
And more off your point about Moncrief, my surprise for the depth chart would probably be that Chark was listed but on the second team ahead of Moncrief. So that, to me, was probably more of a surprise. But I know that you guys have said that he's been having a good camp, but still, that's impressive and that's exciting to see.
Well, and I wanted him before the season or before the draft, just because obviously watching Florida football, you obviously watch LSU football, and so I liked him a lot. And so but last year I was kind of excited. At first I didn't like the D.D. Westbrook pick, and then I got over the stuff because he seems to be fine.
Yeah, and that was a big deal when all that came out.
It was, and I was kind of vocal on Twitter about how I didn't like that the Jaguars would take him, but since then everything's been fine, and sometimes distance can be the best possible thing. But then last year I got really excited about him during the preseason, and then he had the core muscle injury and was out for half the season. So I hate to get high on a wide receiver like DJ Chark now, and then something happens and I've jinxed him. So
he's sort of,
it's all your fault.
And that's how I take it. That's how I take things.
Fault.
He sort of alluded to it with the situation with Dede Westbrook a few years back before he joined the Jaguars. So we're going to move into another sort of, I guess, domestic violence situation with Urban Meyer. You've likely heard the news that Urban Meyer has, he's not taking a leave of absence, but there's currently under, administrative leave. And Ohio State is currently conducting an investigation into reports that his former wide receivers coach was committed a couple instances of domestic violence, once in 2009 that was previously unreported, and again in 2015. Ohio State is said to be investigating it for the next 14 days. They said that on Saturday, I believe. So how, do the math. I'm not a math person.
I think it was
11
Sunday
days
night, so in 2 weeks. So
okay, so less than 2 weeks, they should have a decision on the future of Urban, if he's going to be still leading the helm at the football program. But he did release a press statement, or he did have a press conference late on Friday afternoon, and he was talking about how, I have daughters, and basically alluding to the fact that he told the higher-ups about the situation. They knew about it, so it's kind of in my opinion, setting the groundwork to test Ohio State to see if they will fire him, because if they do fire him, it kind of sounds like from that press conference that he's going to go after all the money that he is owed from that university. But he did say that he lied during media day, but also reported the events to the higher-ups. So knowing that, or do you believe him? I don't know if we know this yet, but do you believe him? And if that's the case that you do believe him, do you still think he deserves a chance at the head coaching job?
Donna, I'll start with you.
I mean, come on. This is coming from a head coach who didn't know anything bad about Aaron Hernandez. Please, I don't believe anything. Oh, I have a heart condition. Never mind, I'm just going to take a year off and then go coach where I really want to coach. Nothing, I can't believe anything that comes out of his mouth, and I completely agree with, and I forget if it was Hicken or Prosser in the morning who said, well, expect for him to be coaching at Notre Dame. It's just that's the type of man he is. The funniest thing that I saw, and because I'm a huge fan of this movie and my family is, the funniest thing I saw on Twitter was the guy that tweeted out, well, if he told his superiors in 2015, why did Santiago have to be transferred off the base? And that, to me, a Few Good Men reference is perfection. It's exactly it. If he told, then why all of a sudden is, so no, I don't believe anything that comes out of the man's face.
Yeah, I call him Urban Liar.
That's good. I like that.
I mean, I'm certainly not the first person to come up with it, but as a Florida fan, I remember where I was when it was announced that Urban Meyer was going to, quit coaching at Florida, and then he changed his mind, and then he went into the booth at ESPN, with those supposed heart conditions. And I've read stuff since that says he really was having a lot of anxiety, and I'm not here to put what he was going through down. However, you're building a track record when you have players on your program. There were 31 arrests while he was the head coach at Florida. He wasn't there for 25 years. He was there from 05 to 09. That's it.
That's crazy. When you
put
it into
05 to 10, yeah. And 31 arrests,
like
and
that.
not just arrests, but there are so many stories of all of the different issues. That's why they eventually brought in Will Muschamp to try and clean up the program. But that's not even a Florida conversation. This is a conversation about a man who says one thing and does another. And he and his wife Shelley counseled Zach Smith in 2009 about the domestic violence issues. Now, of course, Zach Smith has come out and said none of this happened, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe Zach Smith one iota, because there are pictures from the wife, Courtney, of the incidents or the effects of their incidents with each other. And so, to me, if Urban knew about this in 2015, and it seems like he did, I understand the investigation is going to get into all the details, but it seems like he knew. And in 2015, he should have looked at this guy who he's kind of family friends with and said, look, I have to let you go. There is no way that I'm going to risk my career.
Right, he was risking his career for this guy.
Because he's invincible. What has Urban Meyer ever been held accountable for? I mean, that's the reality. We're dealing with, in this case,
now being put on
men in power who have been able to do things the wrong way, but still win football games and national championships and produce Heisman Trophy winners, have lied about certain scenarios, gone on to continue to coach on even a bigger stage up in Columbus without any, fallout or anything. Yeah, any repercussions. So they continue to, guys like that, men like that, and women continue to do things like that because they're invincible. They're made of Teflon. Anything he does, and I truly believe, I don't agree with this, but I think that he'll throw he threw, I believe, Gene Smith under the bus, the athletic director, and said, oh, I told the right people, Gene, because I'm pretty sure football coaches, unfortunately, don't get paid for being nice guys most of the time. They get paid for winning football games. Will fall on the sword or have to fall on the sword, and Urban Meyer will have to sit out the first. I don't even know who Ohio State opens with, but we'll sit out, fill in the blank amount of games. Then they'll roll right back into it, and he will learn about it and take a sensitivity training course, and they're going to implement this and that. And then that's where we'll be.
What if it's just to sort of play?
So that's a big game. I mean, it's not big, but it's
it's a decent game. And the third one's at TCU.
Okay, so maybe he sits out the first two, or the first one. I don't know.
I mean, to me, there's no.
But they're not going to fire him.
No, there's no.
I don't think they're going to fire him. I think he's going to be sususpended for a couple games, and
because
that's
it shows that they're taking it seriously.
But I mean, there's no point.
They care about wins.
Him.
That's all they care
about.
No,
I know. I'm with you. I'm 100% with
you. If he either is proven innocent or proven guilty, in my world, that's how it works. There's no suspension for something like this. Either you knew and you didn't do your job, and you need to lose your job.
Well,
or you didn't know, or you think you went through the proper protocol, and someone else is going to lose their job.
But what if looking at it from the other side, what if Zach Smith is Urban's friend and he wants to hope the best for him and wants him to get better, wants him to rehab, wants him to get better. I mean,
Courtney's telling Shelley,
it's weird. The whole thing is going on incestuous to an extent in the sense that Shelley Meyer knew, and they're all like, we're friends, and I'm worried for you. And it's just, again, I've never been in a situation, thankfully I was not born into a situation like this. I've not personally lived out a domestic situation like this. I know many women have, and all too often the women are not considered having legitimate claims, and whatever has happened to them, it's either been deserved or she's not telling the truth, because that's what society does. They jump to the conclusion of, well, yes, she made that up. That's not true. When in reality, statistically speaking, it did happen, and more often than not, she is telling the truth. And to me, it just reeks of they're all in cahoots together, and they're all,
protect your
boys
like this type situation.
And I don't. It's so complicated, but to me, you're right. It's like, look, man, you got to go get help. You can't beat the hell out of your wife. I want you on my football staff, and I want you because I think you're a great coach. But you can't do this to you. I care about your wife, and I care about you, and you need to go get rehabilitated or whatever you got to do, but you can't do it while you're here at Ohio State.
Right. And as a receivers coach who had been at Marshall and Temple before Ohio State, you can find a better receivers coach than this guy. Don't be willing to risk your career for someone who is obviously going through a lot of stuff, but he needs to figure that out on his own time and not while he works for a football powerhouse.
And that's my biggest thing with him is that it's not, I don't care that he lied to the media. That's the least of my concerns in this. Is Courtney okay? Is she getting better? Is Zach seeking treatment for it? But then also with Urban, this is incredibly poor judgment. Years and years of poor judgment that you decided to befriend this guy and risk your career and your reputation over it. And if it's happening here, where else is it happening that you're having this bad of judgment?
Well, and Zach Smith, so is the grandson of Earl Bruce.
Yeah, but who cares?
Was really close to. So there is that history where he's known him his whole life.
It is that family tree of taking care of one another. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I told you, it's somewhat incestuous.
Which, if it was your amazing offensive coordinator, I'm not justifying, but then I understand Urban's actions. This just seems like Urban needs to go to him and say, look, I can do a lot more for you in my position of power if I don't risk everything with you keeping your job. All right, when we come back, we're going to get it to baseball and Lions. Lions? Yep, that's right, Lions. That's all next. You listen to Helmets and Heels, built by Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL. Lauren Brooks here for Bold City Health, and I can't wait to go there tomorrow to get adjusted. I sleep so much better now that I'm correcting my spine's alignment. Many of us sit for hours in front of a computer, and we spend time looking down at our phones all day, and that contributes to all that misalignment. Did you know that if your spine is out of alignment, it can cause all sorts of issues with your nervous system? I love hearing the stories that Dr. Aaron has about patients who have overcome significant health issues thanks to Bold City Health, especially the stories about babies who get adjusted and no longer have reflux. Bold City Health is so much more than just a chiropractor. You will love the entire staff there, the flexible hours, and the endless resources to help you improve your overall health. Check out the webinar Heart Strong on Wednesday, August 22nd at 7 o'clock to learn more about how to prevent heart disease. And on Monday, August 27th is the monthly community dinner at South Kitchen and Spirits at 6 o'clock. For more information and to register for the free dinner, head to boldcitychiropractic.com or call them today at 379-4621.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
There was one note I forgot to make it during the show. They said during the 2015 investigation, the original police report said that Zach Smith was arrested via like a checkbox on the report. And when this news broke, they found the report again, and that checkbox had been unchecked. So I think I always say,
don't you know who I am?
Well, it's also the football programs like Ohio State in small towns, like those police departments are corrupt. Like they're definitely covering up for the school. I never trust police departments in small college towns.
I just think Urban Meyer would be nobody if Tebow didn't go there. What would he have had?
I mean, it's possible Florida wins the first national championship without Tebow because Chris Leak was the starter. Tebow was the backup. I mean, Tebow still played a significant role that season coming in, but I still think that team was talented enough to win. So he would have had the 06 national championship, but some people say, well, yeah, that was with round 6 players.
Right.
But yeah, the 08 title, he would never have had without Tebow. But you look at his track record with quarterbacks, you hear the guys Mullen has had. Well, a lot of those guys Urban had, and is it Urban or is it Mullen or is it a combination of them just finding great talent?
And what was it, last year or 2 years ago, he had, 3 possible starters, all on his team, so yeah.
He won the year he won the national championship. He used 3 different quarterbacks. So there's an element of genius as a coach. Then there's the element of finding the right guys. Like right now, I think even if you put Urban as Florida's coach, they're not winning anything. Because I don't think any of those guys are the right quarterbacks, which is not necessarily Mullen's fault. But Urban knows which guys are going to fit his system, and he recognizes that talent, which that's, to me, the hardest part about being a college coach. Being an NFL coach, not as, you have scouts, yes, but you get to evaluate them for 3 to 4 years on the college stage. These guys are evaluating high school players where, you can look at Reigns. On Reigns' schedule, they may only play 2 good teams all season, until they reach the schedule. But you know what I mean? So I think about if you can find good high school players, you are really talented.
This makes me laugh when the news came out. I first thought of you, and I'm like, oh, I bet Laura's sitting back laughing, going, of course,
Oh, about Urban?
Yeah.
I was. I wasn't laughing because of the situation.
No,
I wish that it was a
for
less
the fact
serious
of
incident.
now everybody's pointing fingers at Urban and being like, whoa.
The first day I was like, yes, he's going to lose his job.
Right.
I hate Ohio
I
State.
still think he's going to get, if he
And
loses
now
his
I
job, he's
think
going to get hired
there's
within
no way.
2 years at a top school.
That's why.
Well, Notre Dame, I think, is they would never go for it because they're so incredibly, at least the way they try to be, morals first. It's a Catholic school, and they haven't been willing to risk changing their requirements for students to get in. It's still harder to get into Notre Dame than any other school, and they won't change that. Lou Holtz wanted them to change it; they wouldn't change it. So that's why I don't think it would be Notre Dame.
Unless it depends on his contrition. If he does get fired and he's incredibly remorseful and goes to therapy, then I think Notre Dame still hires him.
I don't know. It's just you're hiring a guy with the scarlet letter, basically, for now in this world. In the 60s, yeah, absolutely.
Even 5 years ago, hell.
The Paterno thing changed everything. What was that? 2012. I want to say it was that was a long time ago now.
30 seconds.
Thank you. By the way, I found these flip-flops that she was talking about.
Oh, yeah?
They are so cute, and they have tons of them online, so I don't have to go to that store.
Were they making fun of Andrew Luck this morning?
Yes.
Is that the neck beard?
That was
That's
the
who they were
impression. Yeah, and that was the neck beard. Yeah.
That was a sad impression.
He's working on it. That's what he said.
Yeah, he needs to work on it. But I enjoy the Captain Andrew Luck on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's fun.
He's great.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Welcome back to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes. It's time to get into some baseball. I did not pose this question, but I will still ask this question because I'm very happy that Lauren brought it to the forefront. The Red Sox coming off a phenomenal 4-game stretch at home against the New York Yankees. And so Lauren posed the question to us, and I would say to us, as Blythe is also a Red Sox fan, is this the best Red Sox team ever? Blythe.
Well, and I posed the question, a little bit of backup, or a little bit of background. I saw that in the modern era, the Red Sox have never won 100 games.
That was really surprising.
So that, and so as a non-Red Sox fan, I was really taken aback, and that's when I had seen people say, oh yeah, this might be the best Red Sox team ever, and so that's where that question came from. So now Ready, Set, Go.
Closest they ever came was in 1978 when they finished 99-63, and I do think it happens this year. Even though for the first half of the baseball season I've been very much a casual fan, highlights only, but post All-Star break is when I really started watching more baseball. I had a tweet earlier this week, like if I should start pretending like I've paid attention to baseball all season, but I have not. So getting to know this team, I always hear, I have my Yankee friends that always hit me up for every single series before and after. Well, not necessarily after, especially after last weekend. And I hit them up and I said, why are you so quiet? Because earlier in the year they were hitting me up nonstop, like, I can't wait for the playoffs, or we can't wait for the postseason. And I said, okay, it's a long season. It's May. This is when you're talking now. But they were real quiet over the weekend. So I do think it's a fun, it's an exciting team, and I think that this is Red Sox-Yankees rivalry makes baseball better, and it's been missing since the Red Sox won their 2 championships back in 2004, 2007. It's been sort of lopsided a little since then. I know the Yankees won, I think, in 2009, but since then, the rivalry hasn't been there until this season, and it really is what baseball needs.
Yeah. So did you lock in for the sweep?
For one game of the sweep. It was an eventful weekend, so I had to do a lot of running around, but definitely caught that Sunday night.
Well, I was for sure locked in, and I was damn surprised that they had games that finished under 3 hours, because that does not happen at all. Does not happen.
Sunday night was a marathon, though.
Yes, it was a marathon.
I felt
exciting.
I fell asleep.
You should not have to.
I tried.
Yeah,
I tried, man.
No shame. It's the highlight culture we live in.
Who's your favorite Red Sox player, current, both of you?
Current. It's fun to watch JD Martinez, but I would have to say, I think it's so much fun to watch Chris Sale pitch, because he is so tall and lanky and thin, but dang, is he powerful and fiery.
I would say Mookie Betts would have to be a lot of people's favorite right now.
Well, it's a fun
from the
team.
outside looking in.
It's a lot. This team reminds me a lot of the 2004 team, but they're not a bunch of idiots. You know, they're just a bunch of guys having fun. Yeah. Just like the Cubs were when they won, just like the Astros were last year. It's just they're having so much fun. But watching Martinez, and he is so brilliant. He studies. He will watch. You'll see it in the dugout. He has his tablet after every pitch, after every at bat. He's watching what he did. Like it's as if he's a quarterback who will sit on the bench when he gets off the series and study what he does. And when you look at the standings, it's funny to me that everybody, and I know they did it Sunday night with a poll of who do you think is the current running, AL MVP, and why they think Trout is a runaway is insane to me, because when you look at we'll go batting average, Mookie Betts is number 1, Martinez is number 3, Trout's number 5. Home runs, Martinez and Ramirez lead that one, Trout's number 4. RBI, Martinez is number 1, Trout's not even in the top 5. I just don't understand when you
don't use those anymore.
Clearly they don't. It's just whoever is the most popular.
But why is Trout the most popular? Like he's like
WAR is sort of the be all end all when it comes to stats.
Which I see that, and it's Trout with 7.8.
You also have better in the field, basically.
It's ridiculous.
But it's like a boring, like talking to a wall. It has no personality. I don't understand how he's the most popular out of all these guys. I mean, this Red Sox team has so much personality, and you can tell that they really play like a team. But for me, I don't really, I lean towards pitchers when it comes to favorite players. So Sale is up there on the list, but I have not had a favorite Red Sox player since Johnny Damon left. It was one of those situations where I cried when he signed with the I cried when he signed with the Yankees.
Cut his hair, shaved his beard.
It was worst mistake of his career, I think. Worst mistake of his career.
Mm-hmm. As a former Arkansas native,
that's right.
I guess you are an Arkansas
Andrew
native.
Benintendi.
That's what I was going to ask you.
I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
he's a Yankee killer. He did phenomenal in those 4 games.
We're Cubs fans at our house, and I'm actually married to a former collegiate baseball player. I wasn't lucky enough to find one that got paid to play. Just kidding. Kind of, not really.
Your husband doesn't listen to the show, right?
I hope he does. Just dig. People go, what was
Know
he?
Your place.
I'm like, he was a pitcher. He was right-handed, unfortunately, because if he was a lefty, we might not be sitting here. I might be on my pedestal looking down at you all.
At all those peasants.
Yeah. But no, back to your point, Blythe, about, and Donnie, I think you said the same thing, what makes baseball fun sometimes, just what makes sports fun sometimes is the rivalry. The ones that are like ingrained and the hate is so strong for each other. But I'll tell you this much, it's really interesting because rivalry is what they were even 20 years ago, not what they are now, because all these guys they played together either on and even in college ranks they played together in like AAU, or they played together in summer league, so they don't hate each other, which I guess in terms
kind of the NBA too.
But it's like there's no.
Well, and they all jump teams. That's the problem.
Right. No, that's right. And they go from one to the other. So.
They used to actually stay with their team their whole career. Not everyone, but a lot of guys. And so you were able to build those. Magic versus Bird. They were on those opposite teams for so long. But now,
they tweet each other. They hang out during the summer.
They Sox to the Yankees. You can't do that.
Well, and it's so funny you mentioned that, because one of the best things about this series was first I was watching Nesson for the first 3 games, and they had their 2 normal commentators, Jerry Remy and O'Brien, but then they also added former pitcher David Eckersley. Dennis Eckersley. And they talked about how you were never allowed, when they played, you were not allowed to talk to any Yankee. You're not allowed. They did not. Other teammates were like, how dare you go up and shake his hand? We hate them. And it was fascinating to hear that. And so then Sunday night came, and it was the Sunday night crew, and they asked A-Rod about, hey, were you a little nervous going in the locker room with Captain Veritek there, because of their infamous fight when Veritek shoved his glove right in his face.
I have that T-shirt.
And it's so great. And he laughed about it. He goes, yeah, that's why I brought my bodyguard. What, are you crazy? I'm not going around Veritek, because he still hangs out. He's with the Sox. And very quiet. You never hear about him. And my husband didn't even know he was still with him. I go, yeah, watch. We'll see him one time when he's in the dugout. So it's fun that they can sit there and reminisce and talk about it. But, yeah, it's right. Like, the players don't take it as seriously, unless maybe you're Joe Kelly, and you just want to beat everybody down when you pitch. But,
and I wonder if that's kind of a female thing too, where we love, that's kind of the drama element of sports, and we love the fact that they absolutely cannot stand one another, because it's not something that's really accepted in our lives, right? Like, you don't get to walk around being like, I can't stand that person.
I love bad guys or villains in sports. We don't really have villains anymore in sports. Draymond Green, I think, is like the closest thing to like a sports villain that we have, but I love Draymond because he is sort of that villain.
And it kills me to say that I actually enjoy listening to A-Rod, because he's really good.
He is really good.
He is really good. He's
I do like bits and pieces of A-Rod. There's certain things that I feel like he's overselling it because he's Mr. Flash, and he's, he says things. I'm like, bro, that's not natural. Like, listen, we got it. We see you, A-Rod. We see you.
He's
your
very
big, pretty white teeth. We see you.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to enjoy his commentary, because it's not like he was always the Yankee.
I still call him the B word, though, all the time.
The what word?
The B word. Anytime I see him, like, he's still a He's still a witch.
Okay. I just want to make sure I have the right keyword. All right, we still have to get to Lions, so we'll do that a little bit later. But we're going to get it back to Jaguars coming up next as we check in with Ashlyn Sullivan, digital reporter and host for Jaguars.com. That's next. Listen to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. And she gets to add sideline reporter.
By the way, Martinez just added another RBI. It's ridiculous that they think Mike Trout.
I'm done with Mike Trout. He's never done anything, and I think that's why I'm done with him.
You don't know shit about baseball.
I've not done anything negative is what I mean to say.
Oh, like exciting off the field?
Yeah, just a personality. He has like a personality of a potato. That's what I'm talking about.
He is. His favorite hobby is meteorology.
Aww,
I mean, I like meteorology.
Sweetheart.
He's a Jim Cantori.
And did you see the Instagram post he posted from when they got married?
Yes,
it was
I heard
the most romantic
I think I heard
thing.
you talking about it, but I saw this E60
I didn't
on
really know.
him,
I just looked at it.
and he's literally just like a good old boy from. Is
Philly.
he from Jersey? Philly, that's right.
Yeah,
And
I think it's Jersey.
Yeah, I think it is Jersey, isn't it? I
Yeah, I
think
just
it's
know
Jersey.
he's like a big Eagles fan.
Yeah, I mean he's
a
really
diehard
just.
How's he that quiet but an Eagles fan?
He's just so good.
He is so good.
Oxymoron.
Right?
You're supposed to be obnoxious when you're an Eagles fan.
Ellsbury is on the DL or went on the head
Of course
surgery.
he is.
Mom said that it's some of the stories. The Yankee fans were like, we didn't even know he was still on the team.
Yeah,
he
he's
has played.
like $30 million a year too. What a life.
Like, that's what you get. Go to that side.
Is Pedroia ever gonna play again?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah. Sad as then we got Ian Kinsler and then he gets hurt. Dang it.
Pedroia will go right into coaching, I think. I think he's the type of guy, he's a lifer. He'll never be able to step away from the game.
So he posts a picture of he and his wife on like snowy ground. They got married in December. From this day forward, you shall not walk alone. My heart will be your shelter and my arms will be your home. I love you, my wife. Aww. That's a very romantic thing for a professional
He loves her.
athlete
Yeah.
to put
How
out
old is
there.
he? He's still like
25? 26? 27. No, he's 27.
27,
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing I think
Oh,
that's going
today's his
against.
birthday.
Yep.
The other thing I think that's going against, like Mookie or Martinez, is they're both so good that their votes might
Attracting
split.
for each other.
Yeah. They kind of
You know,
count each
but
other
how
out
cool is it to
or
think that you
cannibalize
could
each
have
other.
the MVP and the, Cy Young both on the same team? That's doesn't happen that often.
90 seconds. What? That's a really fast break.
Michelle, do you mind if I work till only 12 tomorrow?
She doesn't care as long as someone's here, right?
Yeah. Usually I just ask Taylor, but she's like, can you let me know first before you tell?
Why? Just different stuff that.
Just so that she knows.
Oh, gotcha.
And she could probably tell Steve ahead of time.
Gotcha.
Do you mind
Excuse me for the yawn.
if I change?
If anyone's gonna yawn, it's gonna be me. Okay.
Right. No, you know what? You're right.
to noon?
Hey, you have been living hotel life though, and sharing a bed with a 6-year-old.
That's a
Oh,
valid.
yikes.
Very
Because our
valid.
kids act like psychopaths when we and won't go to sleep, and they're like screw around, they're jumping off the walls. We're like sleep in separate beds then. So Daniel and I have been like sleeping with one of the kids.
Yeah,
Do you have your Nocatee passes?
When I was a kid and like moved around.
Yeah, no, and of course they're like living the dream. They've been obsessed with Fuller House. You know what that is?
so
Yeah, it's
On
a
Netflix?
reboot.
Yes, and they have watched every episode, and now they're going back through
Oh
again.
my god.
Because Daniel, my husband,
That's
like
so
works
funny.
in the works from the hotel room, and he's eating whatever, and he's like, let's go into the room, and I come in, I'm like, you guys are in the same spot when I left this morning. What are you doing? And you're like, we're just watching Fuller House, Mom.
Can he work like just next to the pool at the hotel? Not really.
Well, they're not really interested. I mean, like,
Oh, that's right. They
they're
only like
like,
the beach.
yeah. I mean, they love the beach, and the neighborhood is that cool thing, but they're like, we just rather watch TV in our room, and I'm like, oh god, school starts Friday, thank God. So
Yeah, so you'll be fine.
Have you
Yeah.
gone to it? Have you done orientation yet?
So we did. I enrolled them.
Contagious.
I know. Stop. And then, right.
I got it from you.
And then back to school night. is tomorrow night.
Okay.
And then meet the teacher is Thursday morning.
How?
And the school starts Friday. Of course, all their shit's still in Oklahoma. They don't have any of their school. Because I was like, I'm going to get ahead. And I'm going to pull up their school supplies list, go buy all their school supplies and have it done. Nope. It's all in boxes. And along with their backpacks, I'm going to be like, you're going to be the kids who go to school with, like, nothing.
Here's
your sack. Like, what do you do? I don't want to go buy out when it'll be here, like, next.
Do you want some 1010XL bags?
Seriously, I might.
I'm serious. They're like laptop bags.
Yeah.
They can use those off the shoulder, right?
They have their baseball backpacks too, and Dale's like, we'll just send them with that. So I'm like, I'm going to tell the teacher on Thursday. We can't be the only kids who have ever,
Right.
Hey, look, if you want, I'll go buy like a few things for them to have, but all the things
they'll get it when we get it.
Yeah. So I think they'll be cool about it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'll happily get you. We got plenty of those bags.
Well, that's really nice. I think if I need it, if Friday's a bust, then I may.
Okay.
Well, but thank you. That's very nice to offer. So.
I got the key.
You got the keys.
I got the key.
Promo closet, enterprise closet, whatever it is.
All right, here we go.
Thank you.
That's like the golden key.
It is. Gets in everywhere.
Sorry, last yawn. That was it. I'm out of yawns. I'm not going to do it again.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes.
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
On 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
And we welcome in Ashlyn Sullivan, digital reporter and host for Jaguars.com. Ashlyn, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We are fantastic, thanks. I wasn't sure if you might be standing right outside of the 311 and Offspring show that started a little bit ago at Daly's Place, but no, it sounds a little quieter than that.
It is quieter, yeah. I was thinking about it, but I figured I'd take advantage of these restful nights during training camp. But I do love 311 and the Offspring, so I was a little bummed, but next time.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I have some friends going tonight, and they were so excited. And then what's coming up next for Daly's Place?
Next is Wiz Khalifa, and that is next week when the Jaguars will be in Minnesota. So unfortunately, no Jaguars players will be attending that one, like I know a lot of us hoped. But the last hip-hop concert with Logic performed really, really well at Daly's Place, so I know fans are looking forward to another hip-hop concert, so I'm sure it'll be pretty packed.
Absolutely. And then now Sunday night I had some friends that went to the OAR concert, and there's a little story coming out about the lead guitarist. Is that right?
There is. It was on Instagram, and then the Daily Place Twitter retweeted it. So I was looking at it today, and it's actually really interesting. The lead guitarist for OAR, his name's Richard. He asked Jackie, who's in charge of Daly's Place, Lock and Key, if he could go on to TIAA Bank Field, and he didn't really say why at first, but she went with him, and he stood on the 30-yard line, and he said the reason was because his grandparents many, many years ago said that they started a grocery store at the 30-yard line of TIAA Bank Field before it was ever a stadium, and he said it brought back so many memories, and it was always talked about in his family. If he ever went to Jacksonville, he wanted to stand on the 30-yard line where his family store was for many of years. So it was a pretty cool story, and I mean, he said he had never been to Jacksonville before, and he always wanted to do that, and it was pretty cool.
That's such a cool story. So unique, for sure.
Yeah, right? And I just had such a tie to Jacksonville that you never thought would ever be there.
Right? So we're a week into August, and you have quite a few more shows in August. How are the tickets looking?
Tickets are looking great, and it's really helping just August as a whole with Jaguars football being up. It seems to have helped Daly's Place tickets as well, that fans want to do the whole weekend thing where they come to a game and then they go to Daly's Place concert. So the two of them together, I think, has helped both of them. I think Daly's Place being around has also helped Jaguars ticket sales for football as well.
Well, leading into a little bit of on-the-field news, how does sort of your role with the team change from off-season to preseason?
Off-season, we did a lot of, obviously, off-the-field stories. So I got to know the players way more under the helmet, which was really cool to me because it helps me so much now knowing them as actual football players. We did so many stories of going back to their hometowns or them in the community or just really getting to know them as people and their hobbies. So now, rolling it all the way back to football, it's really helped me kind of connect to them bigger than just football. So I've really been grateful for the entire off-season and getting to do those really cool stories that most people don't get to do with football. So it's been pretty cool to get to know them as people as well, which isn't, normal with football players.
Ashlyn, let's piggyback off that. Give us, I don't want to say some dirt because then we sound gossipy like TNC. A girl spilled the dirt. No, I'm just kidding. Give us kind of maybe a behind the scenes, a guy that Maybe he's not getting a whole lot of attention outside of what he does on the football field, but maybe somebody who's caught your eye or a story that's kind of popped up these past couple of weeks.
Something that's come up in the offseason that the Jaguars themselves have to pay pretty close attention to. We're actually going to do a story that's going to go on the website in a few weeks. Is rookie wide receiver DJ Chark out of LSU. So he's getting a ton of attention on the field, but it was really cool. About 2 months ago, we were doing a segment called Know Your Jags, where we asked them really funny trivia questions, and they give us answers. And one of the trivia questions was, what's a fear of yours that you would like to conquer? And DJ Chark says, being in Florida, I would really love to learn how to swim. I'm terrified of swimming. I've never swam before. So our PR staff, Alex Brooks, decided to counteract that, and he asked DJ Chark if he signed him up for swimming lessons at the YMCA, if he would go. And he was all for it, and we went with him, the broadcast team, and we did this whole story behind the scenes of it, and it was so cool. He was so open to it, and now he's swimming all over the place.
Well, that's good, because at some point he's going to swim with sharks on Shark Week, since he is, Chark.
Oh, yeah, he'll definitely do that.
All right. And then when it comes to your role changing, too, for the preseason, you have a new added responsibility this preseason, right?
I do. I'm really excited. It'll actually be my first time on live television, so who knows how it will go. But, yeah, they added me with Brett Martineau on the sidelines. We're going to have now 2 sideline reporters this year on the preseason broadcast. But there's so much to talk about, and there's so many stories to tell, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Awesome. And the Pet Paradise dog park at the stadium, have you gotten to see that?
I did. I got to go yesterday. It's so cool. It's amazing that they built it, one, so quickly, and it looks so great, and two, you look around and you're like, wow, this is actually in a football stadium.
Tell me what this is.
Say that again?
So tell me what this is. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with
Pet
this.
Pet Paradise is the first NFL dog park in a stadium. So what you can do is you can register your dog online. You can bring your dog to the stadium, check in with them, and then bring them to Pet Paradise, which is in the south end zone in the upper deck.
And can people from in the stadium see the dogs?
They can, yeah. If you look up into the very top of the south end zone, you can see Pet Paradise. It's right on the edge. It's like a fenced-in dog park. It's got grass for them to play on. It's got a pool. And I don't know how many dogs it holds at the moment, but it's pretty big. But they're really stressing you can't just walk up with your dog. You have to register the dogs.
Yeah, I think I said 20 dogs.
Yeah, so I think they kind of pick and choose each week, but I know they're really stressing that. The first preseason game this Thursday, you cannot just bring your dog. You have to register. They really stress that to me at that point.
I would assume, are any of the Jags players going to just bring their dog to the game and leave them up there?
I know Josh Lambo. He's a really big dog guy. He actually has 2 dogs himself and a puppy, and he was talking about the other day bringing them in. And he is actually the ambassador, I guess you could call it, of Pet Paradise. He does all the sponsorship and all the radio spots and commercials for it. So he's really gotten into that.
What's going to happen to these dogs during like the pre-season or like the flyover or fireworks?
Oh, I know. I think it's going to be kind of a rolling with the punches type of deal. I love the idea of it. I'm sure problems will arise, but the team at Pet Paradise seems really eager to get this going, and they seem like it's a great idea. So I'm sure they have answers to all of these, but I'm actually very curious to see how it goes.
Call me when you can drop your kids off.
Right? that was my first daycare. Would be
dogs.
Great.
Tell me when I can drop my kids off.
I'm sure that'll be coming next.
Yeah.
Ashland's like, well, I'll be on the field, so don't drop
Duval
your kids
Daycare
off.
starting soon.
Bring in the meat. I can help you with that.
All right, so not tomorrow night, but Thursday night, the Jaguars do play host to the Saints in the first preseason game. How much do you expect Blake Bortles to play, Ashlyn?
Not much at all. I know Doug Marrone has said in his press conference that they're not dealing with that quite yet. I'm sure they have talked about it, but obviously they're not going to say that they have a set plan. But especially with Blake and how many reps he's been getting with training camp and just getting acclimated to the wrist with the new surgery, I don't foresee them really taking chances with Blake. And it seems like he's done so well in the second-year system that I think they're going to give Tanner Lee and Cody Kessler more reps. And I think Cody, and he was really excited about it. I know during his press conference he talked about it.
Very nice. Well, we will be there Thursday night. Kickoff, of course, at 7 o'clock at TIAA Bank Field. Good luck on the sidelines, Ashlyn.
Thank you. Can't wait. I'll see you guys there.
All right. Sounds good. That is Ashlyn Sullivan, digital reporter and host for Jaguars.com and sidelines reporter for Thursday night alongside Brett Martineau. All right, JJ, are you ready to give away tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel? Oh, he's ready. There it is. That's your song. If you want to win tonight's Peterbrook Chocolate Heel, text into the 1010XL text line driven by Duval Ford and tell JJ either the name of the artist or the name of the song, and you will be tonight's winner. And we are back at 1010XL headquarters, so you are allowed now to come pick up that Peterbrook Chocolate Heel during business hours. By the way, this song, for those who either are not country fans or are not aware, is a cover. The song was very popular by this particular artist.
I didn't know which way we were going with this one, but
yeah, this artist was recently announced, so there's a
this artist has had a change of identity over the year. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, I missed that.
Formerly known as.
Yes, lots of hints.
We'll give it away today.
Still lost.
Still lost. We'll talk about it. We don't want to tell. We can't say what it is.
As soon as we have a winner, then we'll let you know.
We'll
but yeah, that was when that concert was announced. I immediately looked at my schedule and I said, "Ooh, can I go to that show?"
When is it?
It's a Sunday night, and so that's kind of why I thought I forget exactly what it is now. But it's a Sunday night, and I remember thinking to myself, well, Sunday night during football season, even though the Jaguars aren't playing a game, it's still kind of tough, in this stuff. But good job, JJ. I'm looking up right now.
September 30th.
Yes, Sunday, September 30th. So
where the Jets are in town.
Right.
But it's an afternoon game.
Yeah.
So maybe you could.
Yeah.
Watch the game, 7:30.
Whew.
Go watch a certain artist.
That's a long day. It's a long day.
That was meant for a long day.
All right, there we go. Then, speaking of dogs, Donna, you're not a Peyton Manning fan, correct? It's funny.
What did Forehead do now?
I always remember if people dislike someone intensely, of course that sticks in your brain. And so when I saw this story about Peyton Manning rescuing a dog, I thought, well, this is going to be interesting for Donna because she doesn't like Peyton, but she does love dogs and she really loves rescuing dogs. So does this make you like him a little bit more? They found this poor little puppy was 2 pound, infested with all sorts of issues, but they're bringing him along, and they found him at a fair. A carnival worker had saved this puppy.
He was being kept in a trash bag.
Yeah, terrible.
Oh
and so God. Peyton and the family are now doing great things. So does this help you soften on former Colts quarterback Peyton Manning?
No, it just shows me he knows how to do the right thing when it comes to animals. It doesn't make me I mean, still Peyton Manning.
Still hate him.
No.
But, give a hat tip.
I'm proud of him.
Why do you hate him?
Because being a Brady fan, it's always the competition of was it always Manning or Brady, and that would always irate me because there's Manning with all of his Hall of Famers around him, and then there was Brady with Deion Branch or someone you don't know. So stop it.
Yeah,
and he played in a dome.
Infuriates her.
Played in a dome.
So it's fun for me to bring it up and steer it up, so to speak. All right, Lions.
So Joel Embiid was over in South Africa doing what they call the NBA Africa. I didn't know this existed.
It's an off-season tour,
right? And so they're doing some good things over there. He's originally from Cameroon, so and he was taken in the Africa game and helping out and everything like that. And then he came upon a little lion cub.
A little lion cub.
So sweet,
so cute.
The story on CBS Sports, just don't bother reading it for the fact of how I don't know if he was trying to sound ridiculous.
I think it's satire.
Okay. Because
or sarcastic,
right? Because it's adorable. The baby cub is so sweet, so cute, and Embiid puts it in his arms. And he's petting it, and all of a sudden, it starts to nibble on his arm, and then it starts to really nibble on his arm,
bite down.
This is one of those situations. I saw this video, and I think to myself, people who get attacked by apes, lions, tigers, alligators, sharks, who put themselves in a situation where they are in close enough proximity to be eaten or attacked by said animal. I'm not talking
you can't put apes in the same category as alligators and
chimpanzees. There was a woman back in the
face, man.
Yes, back
they
in
stripped
the 80s,
her face off.
Her friend had a chimpanzee. And she came over and was like, "Oh, cool!" Literally ripped her face off.
She had to get a face transplant.
Had to get a face transplant. So the point being, folks, they belong in the wild for a reason.
It is really cute, though. I would let that little lion cub.
He's really sweet. You can tell it.
No.
You can tell it's obviously some kind of
little.
Conservation
it will
or something.
eat you. It will eat you.
You know, the funniest thing I thought about this is when I clicked on the tweet and I'm looking at the replies and they're talking about the former Sixers GM Brian Colangelo, who was involved in that sort of fake accounts on Twitter with like 6 different accounts.
The burner. The burner will get you every time.
And one of the guys was like, "Come on, Brian, you don't have to be petty about this." It was really funny.
Well, so that poses me, gives me the question for you ladies. Is there a wild animal that you would go up to?
Oh. Every day I take my life in my own hands when I wake my kids up. So there you go. There's my answer.
Yes, I would. Lots of wild animals. I don't know. Well, back when I worked at Void, we were doing a story and including some different animals from around, not just the First Coast, but like there's some different conservations and rescue areas that are, one rescue area in particular brought in this super cute like tiny little monkey, and we'd let him like sort of crawl all over the office, and he would like run and jump on you, and the way he shows affection is to give you a kiss, and it was frightening. Like this little tiny monkey, as cute as can be, jumping all over you was fine, but the minute he starts kissing you, you are terrified. It's like, please don't rip my face off.
Like the outbreak monkey?
Yes, like
is that what you're
super,
talking
like
about?
a little like spider monkey, I think, like super little, cute, like jumping around, and it was awesome until he like starts showing affection, and it's like, oh, I'm not ready for this.
I think a kangaroo, I would feel comfortable, even though you have seen videos of like
they punch me.
Yeah, but I don't think they would punch me.
You know what I don't get when it comes to wild animals, and this is not, I don't know, this is not like a vicious one. But what is the obsession with sloths? Like there, who is the actress who is legitimately? Is it Kristen? I can't think of it. Like Ellen DeGeneres brought her on the show and surprised her and brought this sloth on, and she like broke down into tears and was like,
"Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, Google it at the break. We'll figure out her name.
Yeah, I don't.
But they are the weirdest, like almost kind of creepy. I don't get it. Like people love sloth. Yes, they are.
Maybe that's
ugly.
why people love them.
It's weird. I don't get it.
Ice Age.
No, that.
They
You're
made
right.
it look like
Such a cute
silly,
movie though. Yes.
And Zootopia, too.
They're weird.
It's like, no, when you see
Yeah,
him at the
Zootopia,
zoo-
and he works at the DMV, and he's like,
Yeah.
The way he laughs at the joke.
JJ, did we get a winner for tonight's Peterburg Chocolate Heel?
Oh, Kristen Bell.
Thank you. Did you watch the
Yes,
video?
we don't
She's
have a name, but
okay.
Do you want to give away the name of the artist?
That's what I was going to say, yeah. So Darius Rucker is coming to Daly's place, and he used to be in Hootie and the Blowfish.
He was Hootie.
So that's why she said name change.
Well,
identity.
I thought you meant Garth Brooks because he did the whole Chris Gaines thing,
also
which
true.
that's
Also
an
true.
identity.
That's an identity.
I don't
crisis
consider
right
you
there.
going from Hootie and the Blowfish to your
100%.
solo.
Yeah, Darius Rucker didn't like call himself Hootie. Chris
we called
Gaines,
him.
he actually like called
No, you're
him.
right.
He went to like late night shows as
No, it's
that was
weird.
weird.
No, you're right. But Hootie was dreads and kind of like grunge pop a little bit. It was
Grunge pop.
Right? Isn't that a thing from the 90s? Like,
Yeah.
College white preppy music.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Or grunge pop.
But yeah, now he's country,
now
and
he's country.
Darius Rucker is coming
And he
to
hates if you yell Hootie. So make sure you do that at the concert if you go.
Sunday,
Hootie!
September 30th. And that song, Wagon Wheel, is a cover of a song that I absolutely love by Old Crow Medicine Show. So I love the original because I heard the original first, of course. But anyway, that is Darius Rucker, and we are Homeless and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes. One segment to go. We're going to get into a whole lot of stuff, including that nursing home escape that made the news. We'll get into that and more. You're listening to Homeless and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
She's not afraid.
Video was hilarious of her.
No, it's weird. She's
bawling her eyes out.
And she's like, oh my God, you brought me
Hey,
a
you know that's a
song."
Bob Dylan song.
Wagon
I
Wheel?
feel like she could have made that happen a lot sooner.
Are you sure?
Bob
She is an actress, though.
I did not know that.
True.
I've always been
Well,
under the
this-
impression
But
that it
those
was...
people did cover it.
So this is her
after
husband
that.
filming her.
It might not be the same name.
Wait,
No,
does
no,
she
it was
really? Does he
co-written
have
by
the sloth
Bob
already
Dylan
like on it?
and a guy from Old Crow
Yeah, they're
Medicine Show.
cute.
Oh, they
so
wrote it
cute. I love
together.
them. I'm glad
Yeah.
they're like, still staying
So,
strong.
we're
But
good.
she literally has this obsession. She's like, I just love them and I want
He's coming for the party.
It's weird. They're gross and they're weird and their toenails are weird. It's weird.
Their toenails are
They
weird.
are. They're like, "Ugh."
Yeah, they're really long and curled.
Yes.
What?
Remember,
I gotta Google this now.
the
Dax
Guinness Book of World
Shepherd?
Records, the guy with
That's
the
his
longest
fucking thing.
fingernails.
Yes. Woof.
It's like that. Like
Oh.
after a while, they start to like curl up.
So it's his toenails or hers?
Yeah, there is.
There is. Okay. Anybody need a water?
No, I'm good.
No, I
Thank
thought
you.
you were talking about
Say it again, I'm
sloth.
sorry.
Whose toenails are y'all talking about?
The sloths.
I thought you were talking about Dak Shepard. I was like, really? That's freaking gross. I'm Googling that.
Toenails are freaking brutal.
It's so cute. She's staring at me.
I Googled it with
And
no
it's
results.
weird that she's obsessed with those things and they're ugly as shit.
I mean, if you pranced in a unicorn right now, I'd probably bawl my eyes out, you know.
Because you'd be on
You know.
drugs and we'd only have those.
You can see unicorns. I would never, ever, I will swim with sharks, but I will never in my life go up to a camel.
Really?
Yep.
Bad experience or something?
I rode a camel when I was little, and my kids
Yeah, like
ran
at the
on a
zoo.
camel.
You'll swim
Why,
with
they
sharks,
freak
but
you
won't
out?
ride a camel?
Yeah, I won't go near a camel. I watch too much of the Josh Gates on Travel
that is-
Channel and Discovery. He does Expedition Unknown and
And what's wrong with camels?
yeah, he goes, they are the meanest, vile animals, and he hates it. And he goes everywhere and does. He is in every country doing everything.
What would they do to you?
They spit and bite at you, and they every time he's like, I hate camels. I just hate.
Yeah, I'm good on getting spit on.
Yeah, I'm like I'm right there with you. I'll go swim in the Atlantic and say, "What up, great white?" But I will.
I
not-
would do that too, only if I had one of those cages.
Did you watch the inside story of Jaws?
No, but I feel like I've seen
I would
it
not be able to
enough
watch that
times
and go
where-
back in the ocean
Man.
because Jaws scared the crap out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, all the people that made it,
Uh-huh.
that made the movie, none of them go in the ocean.
But
They
it's
all
funny because it's
they
not
were
like
all
it was
interviewed. They're
filmed
like,
in the ocean.
Yeah, they saw
Nope.
the crappy fake shark.
Exactly.
they're like, we're
Oh,
not.
after the fact they couldn't go back in
Yeah.
the ocean. Yeah.
What's crazy to me
You
is
know,
that
actors
girl
scared of swimming in the ocean too.
Bethany Hamilton.
That doesn't surprise
lost-
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She lost her
Yeah,
arm.
her arm, the surfer.
She still
yeah.
surfs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's awesome.
I know.
Too.
Are
I
there-
remember she
are
was
there-
on remember True Life?
No.
MTV True Life back in the
Yes.
day?
Yeah. True Life.
How
I'm a
dare
fill in the
you,
blank.
Lauren? You
I'm
don't remember
sorry.
that show?
I haven't watched a lot of television.
Live
in
This
my
is
life.
cool. This is
Whatever,
cool.
yeah,
But
yeah.
she was on there.
This
And
was
it w-
pre losing her arm.
Yes, like they were filming her as a young girl.
Okay, yeah.
And then in the meantime, that happens, and they come back and like,
Oh, damn.
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and she's really talented. And what
Yeah.
Brian tells me, because he watches the contest, he's like, if she had never lost that arm,
Yeah,
because
that's why
obviously
they
it
were
affects
originally
her.
there because she was like a young phenom.
Yes, yeah. But she's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen her?
Mhm.
She's gorgeous.
My one of my friends photographed her engagement and wedding.
Oh wow. That's cool.
He's his dad, AJ Nesty. His dad was like, I guess, a famous Sports Illustrated photographer, and then now he does photography on the side. I think I've talked about like their story before on the show. They're the guys who coined the term huntitarian, where they only eat the meat that they kill. So they won't go like to
just for prizes or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Like for
Sport.
Just for
They
sport,
won't
yeah.
kill for sport. They sort of believe it's like almost like karma. Like if he's mentioned several times about like being out in the field and like seeing prize bucks that he could have shot in off season and he won't do it.
Did you see those boar that were on the side of the road?
Yes, I did.
So
I thought
They
at
were
first
on
they
what?
were on the side of the road on Nocatee
Nocatee.
Parkway. I was like, those are some big ass dogs, and who hits like big ass dogs?
dude,
They're
they were
nuisance.
And
massive.
then the second time I was like, holy shit, that thing has tusks.
Yeah,
And they have babies like
15
crazy.
they were massive, but the
Somebody
way
hit
there was
them
no.
with
Well,
cars?
see, there was nothing on the road.
Somebody's gotta
It
shoot
was
'em.
Very eerie.
They're very aggressive
And
too.
so someone on Twitter was like, I think they were shot and dumped there. I'm like, I don't blame that
Like
idea.
but
Like,
they were on each side of the road.
Yeah.
Who dumps them on the side of the
Alright,
road
here
versus
we
just
go.
throwing them in the grass?
Oh wait, they were dead.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Homes
Presented by Underwood Jewelers and American Window Products.
on 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
welcome to Helmets and Heels, built by Dreamfinders Home. We're coming into our last segment of the show, and in case you were living under a rock over the weekend, the NFL held their Hall of Fame ceremony, which I guess it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame that holds it. It's two separate organizations from the NFL to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and you heard a lot of stories about, of course, T.O. missing it for whatever reason that he had, but there was a few other people that actually made it in as on the media side of things, and one of those was Andrew Kramer. which I think for most sports fans are well aware of her work that she's done over the years, incredible work that she's had in her career. And so it sort of brought to mind the question of who, and since this is a female-focused football show, wanted to find out who your favorite women in sports they're covering, even now, in the past, who's sort of up and coming. Who's your favorite person to watch as far as a woman is concerned in the sports world?
I have several favorites. I love Tracy Wolfson. I loved her on the Saturday SEC football for a long time now. I think she is such a star in the NFL. I love Allie LaForce, who obviously the most recent thing was her whole interview with LeBron James and asking him about Pop's wife, Greg Popovich's wife, but then it came out she did already ask him. And then everyone knows I already love Sam Ponder, but I think it will be interesting to watch Sam now that she has her third child, how she's going to manage all that. But one of my other favorites, who I'm super excited about, Sarah Walsh, has been out of the business, out of the industry for a while after ESPN laid her off, and now she is back in it for Fox and the NFL. So
awesome.
I'm excited. Yeah, really excited for her and her family.
I obsess over her Instagram videos because she's always posting videos of her kids, and they're always getting one of the kids is she has 2 twin toddlers, and one of the kids is always eating potting soil, and the other kid is terrified of Amazon Alexa, and so it's hilarious that she films them all the time, and it's awesome.
I love her video. She's really funny about her husband too, and she takes that I have money and I'm somewhat famous. She takes all that out of the equation, and she's just a really funny, laid-back wife and mom who never is trying to make her life look as glamorous as it can be.
Is she going to stay in Nashville?
I would assume so, because they built this gorgeous home there, and I think they're putting a pool in because she always has jokes about the pool that she doesn't have. So I would assume they'll stay there and she'll travel.
That's cool.
But and I think her husband does something with baseball. I know he went to Vanderbilt and played baseball at Vanderbilt, but I want to say he does something now.
I think he's kind of a coach.
I want to say that.
Yeah.
But either way, so those are a few of mine.
I'm a big Sarah Spain fan. Sarah Spain, yes. I like her.
Stand her.
Can't stand her?
Can't stand her.
So at first, you don't like her either? JJ?
No.
Okay.
Probably my most hated female in sports.
Why she got famous? It's sort of like.
And she trashes a lot of other women too. It's sort of
the anti-feminist thing that she kind of states that she is.
Okay.
She put herself up for
auction
a date.
But have you?
Super Bowl.
Okay, sure. I'm with you. No, because I felt the exact same way. Honest to God, I was like. I Googled her one time because somebody was like, you should kind of pay attention to what she does, because there's not very many women who are truly in sports talk radio. I mean, like that's their thing.
Yeah.
Right. There aren't very many of us. So when there's somebody who has a show or has a program and I find or pay attention to, but I'm exactly with you on that. At first I was like, what she auctioned off. She's a big Chicago Bears fan. She's from Chicago. And she put this date thing out there, and like she will never live that down. And she did a podcast, and I haven't had a chance to listen through the entire podcast, but I was very anti what she did because of the exact same reasons you stated, because she comes out as this very strong woman and all these things. But in the meantime, I follow her on Twitter, and I've listened to some of her podcasts, and she did one where she had women in the media, sports media, on, and just said, hey, Mina Kimes is another one I'm a big fan of.
I love Mina Kimes.
And so she was on this podcast as well with Sarah. So they kind of talked about what are some of the struggles you face, what are some of the things that are misconceptions about what you do. And I think because she really takes a lot of criticism across the board. There are some really nasty things said to her. I mean, some hateful, just from trolls that are come out from under.
I think that's fair to say about anybody who's at the top of their game, though, in sports.
Right, but she finds a way where she calls them out, and I think a lot of them do as well. But the point that I'm really trying to get to here is when women are in roles that are not news related and are opinion related, we open ourselves up to a lot more criticism than, say, Allie LaForce, who's very good at what she does, but she reports on what she sees, and she provides content for the viewers, and her job is to tell you what happened, report what happened. When you open yourself up to, say, give an opinion about the Jaguars, or anybody else for that matter, you open yourself up to any kind of criticism that comes along with giving an opinion. And she's someone who tends to own what she says, albeit has made some mistakes along the way. But she's somebody for me that seems genuine enough to where I reached out to her on Twitter and said, you know what, I have a question I'd love to DM you about if you get a chance. She responded within 5 minutes and was like, yeah, what can I do to help? From one sports talk radio host to the other. You're not going to find that many other places. And the Mina Kimes is just brilliant and is funny, and she's quick.
Smart.
So smart. And will say things, and I'm like, God, it would have taken me like 2 months to come up with that reply. But so those are the two that I kind of
was she a lawyer before she was
a writer? She was
writer,
a sports talk writer.
I think she was an economist too.
She knows some
like Wall
business.
Street.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew she had a background in doing something other than just sports.
My personal favorite, Kay Adams, and this is sort of what spurned this whole conversation, because she had a really heartfelt sort of admiration video towards Andrea Kramer. And Kay Adams she's a host of NFL's Good Morning Football. She's smart, she's sassy, she's one of those women that does give her opinions on air, and she uses a lot of Lord of the Rings references, which is newsflash if you don't know anything about me. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so anytime you can include Gandalf in football comparisons, you're automatically my favorite. So Kay Adams is certainly one. Shelly Smith, I think, is another one. The way that she fought through her cancer battle, I thought was incredibly admirable. I mean, going on camera, appearance is so important for women, especially when you're going on camera, and for her to have that sort of bravery to go on camera going through chemo without her hair, that was
her and Holly Rowe both.
Yes,
both
Holly Rowe just had her last chemo treatment.
It's honestly like it gives me goosebumps just even talking about it. And then Rachel Nichols is another one. She's just a consummate pro, and I love her commentary, and she sort of plays a perfect balancing act between news and opinion, and she's not really known for having too strong opinions, but she's not afraid to give her opinion on certain subjects and certain matters.
I got a few.
Wait, Donna's turn first.
Oh.
It's okay.
Well, I'm afraid Donna's going to leave at any moment when I watch her face. So that's why I said that, JJ. Sorry, I'm really afraid she's about to walk out the door.
JJ, go right ahead.
All right. Amanda Borges, Jessica Blaylock, Mackenzie Thurkill, Jordan DeArmond. I just need to give a shout out to some of the former girls here at Cincinnati.
You did a great job. Yep, they are.
Stuck up.
I love those girls. Let's be real.
I agree with Blythe. Kay Adams on Good Morning Football is fantastic.
Very talented.
Breath of fresh air.
Yes. I absolutely love her takes on a lot of things, but I love how she hosts.
I've heard she's a little bit of a diva. Does that change anything?
A diva how?
I don't see
off screen,
Ooh.
kind of demanding. That's what it's what someone told me.
It might.
I don't know her, so I'm not.
It
trying
would
to spread
disappoint
that.
me.
Okay,
I was just
less about her specifically, more about the person. If you find out that one of those women is like that, it would change it for me.
But my favorite is Sage Steele.
Okay,
Yeah, she's awesome too.
Absolutely love Sage Steele, because when you watch ESPN, a lot of the females, especially the one that Prosser loves in the morning, with the boots, is all I call her.
Champion?
No. Hannah Storm?
Yes.
I like Hannah Storm.
Whoever dresses her, whether it's her or ESPN, I don't understand it.
Maybe that's like her signature look or something.
You don't need to do that. You just don't need to. And I get, you get professionalism. You just get everything good from Sage Steele.
Yeah.
She's just everything wrapped up in one, and she's wonderful. So
there's one word I feel like I would use to describe all of the women that have been mentioned, and it's calm.
Yeah.
All of these women, none of them get rattled. I mean, Kay Adams is hosting a live show.
Yeah.
Sage Steele is certainly hosting live stuff. The other ones are working live events, and with all the chaos that can go around or go on around them, they are all just calm and in control of the situation.
I'm just glad nobody said Britt McHenry.
Please.
No,
because that would be the end of Brooks and Rue. The band would break up her shoe. She is
we have
the
torched,
worst.
absolutely torched her on the show.
Loathe. I try not to use the word hate because I really am like
sure.
Cannot.
She's the one who trashed the person at the parking.
Yes.
Yeah.
She
told the parking lot attendant.
awful.
Yeah, a lot of things.
And not just
that
because
were
of that.
belittling.
She is. I can't.
I don't think she's a good person.
No.
She plays her shtick well, obviously, because it's landed her a few different gigs. But
now she's at Fox News, right? Now she's political.
I like.
So she's
Doris
away from
Burke.
the sports.
Yeah, Doris is awesome.
Dude, she's a trailblazer.
Not like a sideline reporter.
No,
she is a game analyst.
Yes.
That's right, and they don't give her enough opportunities to
really
be
good.
in that role. She is very good. You're right.
I do like her too. All right, so two men escaped out of a nursing home, and they went to
I love this story.
a very heavy rock, like not
heavy
metal. Yeah, heavy metal.
A metal festival.
Rock festival, which I think is awesome. I can't see a lot of people doing this, but I think it's fantastic. Now, and I wonder, when we say they escaped, was it more like they just told like Charlie, the security guard at the front, hey, we're going to the heavy
Well, there's no. I was going through the story and I was trying to find out how. No, I think that they just kind of just left and then they reported them missing, which is sort of.
Because you're free to go and certain people are free to come.
Unless it's like an assisted living place, which is where they're supposed to keep an eye on you to make sure.
Yeah, but either way, so they escaped to see Judas Priest and some other bands
at the Wacken Open Air Metal Festival. It's like 75,000 people.
And where was this? It was overseas.
In Germany.
Right? Yeah, Germany. Okay. So, Blythe, then you, of course, asked the question, if you were going to escape, where's the first place that you'd head?
The beach. To me, it's therapeutic. It's beautiful. If you go on a good day, there's not a lot of people there. So I'm heading straight to the beach.
What if your assisted living home was on the beach?
That would be a very expensive.
Then you would never want to escape.
Then where would you want to go?
I'm going to the nearest bar.
Yeah.
I mean, I doubt that they are treated to any kind of cocktails other than like their
medicine,
right?
Miralax and their
what a
vitamins.
Horrible way to end.
Give it a little kick.
What
did I say on
You're like, I'm out. I'm going to go drink
cocktail?
and go.
Give it a little kick.
Get on the beach and just but I'm serious. At nursing homes, I don't think there's a bar.
2 minutes.
Yeah,
should be.
D-Murph, what about you?
I'm in the same line as her. I would go to a restaurant with decent food.
Oh yeah.
Come on, they're not getting good food.
Yeah, that's true.
I
would go to the Ponte Vedra Spa because that place is just fantastic. And I could get a manicure, I could get a pedicure, I could get a massage, I could get a facial. And then I get to hang out either in the hot tub or the private pool area. And
charge everything to like a random room.
Oh, yeah. Be far away from all the people that I have
when
to
they catch you, it's too late.
Time with. All right, so next week we will be 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's right. We've been 7 to 9 for the past 4 years, but we are moving on up. So you will catch us on 1010XL and 92.5 FM from 6 to 8 next week. Thanks so much to our special guests, Leanne Rassler from JTA and Ashlyn Sullivan from Jaguars.com. For Donna Murphy, Blythe Brumleve, and Lauren Rue, I am Lauren Brooks. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. Of course, don't go anywhere because Hacker After Dark with Andrew Gibson is coming up next. And JJ LaSelva has been, as always, our fantastic producer tonight.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you back here next week, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. We're moving on up in the world. Drive time.
I decided
Bye, my brother.